Most people blame oversaturation, whereas we are consistently generating $100,000 to $600,000 within a 90-day period for each one of our clients, all through cold email. In this video, I'm going to take you through the exact strategies, exact ICP frameworks, email scripts, everything from A to Z in terms of how we get such consistent results across the board. Now, as a bit of background, we're sending easily over 1 million emails a month. So we have a lot of data to run by so I can bring you this presentation. So now the problem these days is it's either on the one side of the scale where everybody is going for extremely specific data, meaning that they're enriching everything for every last possible detail and ending up with really, really small lead lists. Now that becomes a problem because at the end of the day, cold email is meant for scale. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, people that are trying to send hundreds of thousands of emails per day or per month, they have no relevancy in the email. They are just blasting something out there and hoping that it sticks. So our approach has been something in the middle. We find a really good high volume, but at that high volume, we're still able to be relevant to the people that we're reaching out to. Meaning that each and every person that receives an email from us thinks that that email is solely for them and it addresses their pain points. So our solution is that we install a fully managed outbound growth system. Now, what that means is it's basically bringing in 3 tiers, which is cold email, LinkedIn, and warm calling. And it basically touches each lead on each point. So yeah, let's dive in. The first and most important step is defining a narrow ICP. So when it comes to ICP, we need to be as specific as possible, and we need to really try and understand the pain points of the buyer. Meaning that it's not just about doing some research as to who this ICP is and what their pain points are. We spend days actually understanding the nuances of each individual person. So you really need to understand the ICP better than anyone else. Is because once you understand the ICP, that leads into the copy that you're creating. It leads into the relevancy that you're linking with the copy and the offers, and it basically oils the whole machine. So you want to get hyper-specific segmentation, target the companies with the right sizes, revenue, and technology stack. Then you can get into triggers. We have tested all the different triggers that you can possibly test. And to be honest, the best and number one timeless thing that always works is just being relevant. I would say relevancy over triggers. So you can target by specific job changes, new hires, new funding. That's all good and well. But I would still go back to relevancy as being king. And then, of course, clearly define your negative filters so that you know exactly who not to target for, what countries not to include, etc., etc. Now, the next part is the infrastructure and deliverability side of things. Here, we want to keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't manually go and set up all these different Google inboxes. What I would do is go find a trusted software like Maildoso, MailChamps, any other software out there that has a good number of reviews and will set up email accounts for you. Check them out. They will do everything very, very easily for you. That's the best deliverability practice. Rather than having yourself go in and create each record, which is really, really time consuming. Now, moving on to the next part of things, which is more into the enrichment side of things. What we do is we get our data through places like Apollo, Clay, Sales Navigator, Google Maps for local businesses. You have to verify all data, right? No matter where you get the data from, whether it's Sales Navigator, Apollo, you still have to verify that data afterwards and only send to good emails, right? Because you don't want to tank your deliverability. Then there's intent tagging. Obviously, platforms like Instantly automatically tag the different intents in your inboxes. So the interested, the not interested, the out of office. The out of office, a cool trick is just to reach out to them when they're back in office. The offers side of things, also most important part, along with ICP research, is trying to get a good offer to basically cut through the noise, right? Because cold traffic offers very different to warm traffic offers. These are people that know nothing about you, have never seen you before, and hence why it's extremely important for you to make an offer attractive to a cold market, right? They need to see the end result when it comes to working with you. They don't care about the means in which you achieve that result. They just want to see the end result. So if you're bringing AI systems into a business, you need to find out what the end result is for that business, right? Whether it's time saved, whether it's an increase in revenue from additional leads being contacted on a database. You need to try and understand what that end result is and how to make that end result as attractive as possible. As an example, we don't say for our own offer that we can set up a cold email system for you, right? We say we'll generate $100,000 to $600,000 in closed revenue within 45 to 90 days, because numbers create credibility and clarity. Then there's the risk reversal side of things. So now if you can add guarantees, free trials, money back guarantees, guaranteed outcomes. That is where it separates the really successful campaigns from the middle of the market campaigns, right? Because prospects want very, very little risk in terms of responding to that email. So the least risk that you add to your offer, the more responses you're going to get, and naturally the more calls you're going to book, right? So if you can throw in some sort of a free trial, some sort of a guarantee, something that's attractive to the market, because when you remove the risk, you remove the objection. Then there's the proof side of things, right? You actually need to back your claims with verifiable results. Real case studies, vague promises lose credibility, right? So you need to be extremely specific with the results that you get, like you'll see on our website. So generally the framework is X result in Y time frame. So you need to be extremely specific. As an example, generated 620K in 45 days for an Inc. 5000 company. That's proof that will cut through everything. So no matter what anyone says, those are the numbers, verifiable. And yeah, that's why it works so well. Then we're talking about copywriting. Now, copywriting is also extremely important. With cold email, each piece of the puzzle is extremely important. And that's why videos like this are there to show you why each part is so important. Is because if one part is messed up, it creates problems for everyone. The 50 to 100 word rule. Essentially what we want to do here is we want to keep it as concise as possible. White space is key, right? We want to basically get our point across within 2 to 3 lines. We want to keep it short, punchy. They have the best reply rates. It's not email marketing where you're telling a story. You want to stay away from stories. You want to address the reason that you're reaching out, put in the offer and a short CTA. So the 3-line structure is like 2 to 3 lines, easily readable, and it's mobile friendly, right? So you want to break up the text visually to make it easier for scanning, because essentially that's what you do with your emails is you scan through the email, the content. And like I said, white space is your friend. Soft, specific CTA. Would you be open to a quick minute chat next week? Right? It's easy to say yes to. What you want is micro commitments. That's what you're looking for. Any CTAs that have micro commitments, mind if I send over more details, anything like that, that's an easy to respond to email. Now, the following up and sequencing. So the way we like to test our different variants is a bunch of different ways, right? The first is pain. Second is curiosity, social proof, value, and then just being direct, right? So strategic timing and messaging pivots based on prospects' behavior, right? So you obviously need to analyze the campaign, see which angle works best, whether it's pain for a specific audience, then you need to double down on that. Maybe tweak the follow-ups to that. That's how optimization is done, right? Then the next thing, which I briefly touched on in the beginning, is a multi-channel approach. So what we do is we combine LinkedIn. So as soon as someone's interested on email, we give them a touch on LinkedIn. So connect with them on LinkedIn, send them a connection request, and that basically puts a face behind the email. Because cold email, you don't see any profile pictures, you don't see any social proof behind the person. That's why it's extremely important. Multiple touch points before the sales call. Then every follow-up should be slightly different. Don't copy and paste. Bring new angles, new points, new testimonials, something of value. That's how you end up in spam, and that's when people start marking you as spam if you just keep on repeating the same thing over and over. So that's the key there. Right, then in terms of daily operations and optimization, so basically what you want to do is you want to review the stats every single day, right? So you want to look into your reply rates, your booking rates, your positive reply rates, all that good stuff. Which variants are booking the most meetings, which variants are getting the most responses. It says track open rates there. I don't recommend tracking open rates there. I think that just slid into the presentation. Don't track open rates as a little tip. Just focus on the actual end metrics, right? Just continuously testing different body copy, CTAs, and then that's obviously what I recommend is running multiple variants simultaneously. Yeah, basically just small improvements every day that you pick up from the numbers. At the end of the day, you're looking for data, right? So get the numbers back, launch the campaigns as soon as possible. Yeah, you'll get some good results from that. Then obviously double down on what is working. That's the easiest way to success, right? In terms of maximizing show rates and qualification, what you want to do is you want to have multiple email reminders, SMS reminders before the call, right? We consistently have about 80 to 90% show rate. But what that means is you need to include value in the pre-call emails and texts. So the texts are just straight to the point. The emails, you want to include any videos, case studies, build value. What I would do to take it even a step further is personalized videos, right? So get their WhatsApp number, send them a video note, say, hey, I see you've just booked in a call X, Y, Z, give them something specific about their company that you've picked up, say that you're looking forward to, right? And just confirm with them. Then the next thing for you to understand is the economics and risk control. So just understand the true cost and value of a booking. What you want to do is you can, with cold email, it's quite cool because the cost per booking should be a lot lower than ads, but just identify how much you're spending on tools, how much you're spending on, let's say, agency fees or whatever, and then divide that by the number of calls that you're getting, and then understand your acquisition cost, and then the lifetime value of a client. So let's say you have a client that pays you $10,000 a month and you keep them for 6 months. That means the value of that client is $60,000, right? So now if you were to spend $10,000 on a system that could bring you $60,000, you understand that that's still a 6x return on investment, right? So that's the key performance indicator there, is just understanding the lifetime value of a client and actually giving the system time to get you results. Then obviously just don't scale a broken system, right? It goes without saying, but make sure that there's product market fit. You can obviously get product market fit through cold email, but as an example, let's say if you wanted to work with us as an agency, your offer would need to be post product market fit, because we can't scale a broken system. Obviously, you can do testing with cold email beforehand to make sure that it is product market fit. But then thereafter, if you're looking to scale that, that's sort of the time that you'd come to us. Now, once again, it's the framework that has consistently delivered for us. There's a reason that it's generated $620,000 within 45 days, right? Big number, short time frame. And that was for an Inc. 5000 company. Right? This is only the tip of the iceberg, right? There's obviously a lot of other smaller numbers that are there, but that is sort of the hero case study that tends to get attention because of how big of a result it is. Like it says here, it's not luck, it's method, right? It's just multiple pieces of a puzzle, cold email, that we've mastered over the last 4 years. So it's built on technique, information, execution. And if you want to run it yourself, you need to make sure that each piece of the puzzle is accounted for, meaning that your copy is good, your ICP is good, your list scraping is good, your offers are good, right? You want to basically get the full piece of the puzzle before running it, because otherwise you're going to spend a whole lot of money on email accounts, systems, softwares, and you aren't going to have anything to show for it, especially when you start landing in spam within the first week, which is what everyone does, and then they come to us to work with us, right? So yeah, that's a bit of background behind that. And yeah, it just comes down to how bad you want it, right? Within the next 90 days, you could see 6 figures at least, right, with a system that we could install for you. If you want that, let's do it. If you sell an offer that's more than 3K a month at least, then let's run it, and we will be able to deliver for you. If not, that's not a problem. I hope this video was at least somewhat valuable and that you managed to extract some pieces of useful information, whether it's around offer, copy, targeting, lead scraping. All of that was discussed in the video, and that's the exact system that we use in our agency. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and yeah, book a call below if you want to work with our team. Anyway, cheers, bye.